Okay. Got it. There it goes. Okay, fantastic. So, hi guys, my name is Sensei Mitch. I just want to say a big shout out to, sorry, my eyes are going. Jeff Lindsay, how are you, man? Welcome to New York Buddha Association, and thank you for becoming a patron. So, we're Japanese EI school. We study Kenjutsu as well. EI and Kenjutsu, this is similar. We study a specific style called Rushin Shochi Ryu. Our teacher is Yahage Sensei in Tokyo, and this is our Sunday class. We're a not-for-profit organization. I don't get paid. None of the instructors get paid. We do this because we love it. If you want to train with us online, check us out on Patreon. Give us a follow, give us a like, subscribe to us. We're constantly posting videos and doing events. So hope you enjoy the class. And for people who are with the class, I'm going to start teaching now. So let's ray in and let's record as well, David, because okay, so we're going to record the class. This is for our members as well. All right, so let's ray in, guys, and we'll get started.
Shomini, right? Sensei, right? Otegani, right? Onegaishimasu.
So before we ray into the sword, I want to have a moment of meditation. We have a lot of students who are not able to join us online in Ukraine. They're in Kyiv or outside of Kyiv. We're very concerned about them and our thoughts and our prayers. And, you know, we really are hoping for peace. We're praying for peace and that everyone is okay. We will be doing a fundraising event in April 10th. If you want to support us, we're going to be donating to a not-for-profit. We haven't chosen the not-for-profit yet, but we are definitely going to be giving all the proceeds for that fund to the not-for-profit. We're also selling t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. Our friend Koka Calligraphy in Japan made us a beautiful kanji that says "We hope for peace." So that's on the t-shirts or tote bags or whatever we're selling. So check out our website, look for events, and you can find all that stuff there. Or you can go to our Teespring store. All right, so let's have a moment of silence and just keep them in our thoughts. Makso. Thank you.
Tomni, right?
Actually, before we put our swords on, let's do some quick exercises really quick, okay? So let's put our swords to the side. And let's do some just basic exercises. So these exercises are specific to Rushin Shochi Ryu. We use a system that bases our everything is based on our flexibility. And we're using our bodies to generate cuts. So in is collapsing, yo is expanding. So on this first one, I want you to inhale with your nose. And as you exhale, I want you to collapse your chest as you're breathing out. Okay, try not to bring your hunch your shoulders, but try to collapse your chest and use your back muscles to push forward. And then when you get to a point where you can't push anymore, push open and then relax. So in position, yo position, and then chuyo is neutral. So it's so I'm flexing and I'm pushing into that stance. Let's do 5 all together. Here we go. Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Fantastic. Let's do 5 more. This time we're going to reverse. We're going to go from, we're going to breathe out. Hello? Oh, hi. No worries, no worries. I'll make sure I'm here by myself. I get very nervous. So next one we're going to do is it's going to be the opposite. You're going to inhale, and then you're going to expand into yo. And then you're going to push into in. Let's do 5. Here we go. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Very good. Next, we're going to do a variation on that as well. We call this one prayer exercise. I think there's a Japanese name for it, which I'm terrible with. You're going to make your hands just like a prayer, just like this. Okay. You're going to inhale again. You're going to bring, as you exhale, you're going to bring your elbows together, right? And this is in position, right? Closing my chest. I'm going to bring my arms all the way behind my head, all the way down. At this point, I'm still in position, right? And I'm going to open my chest into yo position. Open my chest, keeping my hands along my sides, almost like a push-up. And then I'm going to rotate my hands upside down. And as I do this, once I'm in full yo position, I'm going to step forward with my right hand. Okay. My right foot. And I'm going to push forward with my arms. Okay. Pushing forward almost like a push-up. And I'm going to put my right hand over my left hand. Or if you want to go into sword grip, you can go into proper tenuch, proper sword grip as well. Let's do 5 all together. Here we go. Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Fantastic. Now we're going to do a quick, we don't use Sayabiki in this system. So other systems like Toyama, Seitei, Ishin, Musashinden Ryu, they use a thing called Sayabiki, where when they draw, they're really just kind of, you're pushing the sword forward. And as you do that, you're pulling the saya back in like a violin motion. When you do no toe, which is putting the sword away, you do a big violin motion like this. You're pulling the saya, the sheath around you. Rushin, we use our hips. So with this system, we want to pull our hips forward and back. It's a quick draw system. It's a little different. So with this, we're going to do this kind of exercise. We call this wall hip exercise. I want you guys to think about a little chair that you're going to sit down on behind you. So I'm going to lift my hakama up so you can see my feet. You're going to step shoulder width apart and step straight back with your right foot. You're going to bend your knee over your big toe. So feet together, step straight back, and then bend your knee over your big toe. So my knee is over my big toe. Okay. You're going to straighten your front leg out, and then you're going to push your hips back, and you want to try to keep your hips straight. So think of like a little chair behind you. You can put your hands up and push your hips back. The key is not to go off to the side. So you want to try to keep your hips going forward and back, straight forward and back. All right, let's do 5 all together, nice and deep, straightening your front leg. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Very good. Now we're going to do the next version of it. This time, instead of it being a really deep stretch all the way up and all the way back, we're just going to be straightening our legs and pulling our hips back. So with this one, we're just pulling our hips back and pushing our hips forward. I'm still straightening my leg, but I'm not pushing my hips all the way back. Okay, so I'm still keeping my hips straight. For more advanced students, if you want to try this, you can also allow yourself to your top half of your body to go into in position, yo position. Let's do 5 all together. These are a little faster, so here we go. Ready? Each, ni, sam, shi, go. Fantastic. So those are the quick warm-ups. I think it's always good to do stretching. I stretched before, so if you want to stretch before class, also recommended. Let's get a Ryaito and let's start with Kamae, okay? Fantastic. Okay, great. So everyone has their Iaito on. We wear it to the left side and make sure the curve is facing up. Okay, great. So these are Kamae. It's extremely important to memorize these and to really have a good understanding of them. Think of it like a foundation of a house. These are the warm-up exercises that we start. We do this every single class. It doesn't matter what we're studying, where you are. If you go to Japan, this is exactly what you do. So usually the first hour, we dedicate just to warm-up exercises. So Kamae are basic stances. We're gonna run through them all together, and then I'm gonna call on someone to give some comments. All right, here we go. You ready? So again, first position, Iai Gosh. So shoulder width apart, stepping forward, or you can step back with your right foot, bending your knee over your big toe, and then make sure the sword is turned out. So you're turning the sword flat and you're turning the sword out, and you're pushing and breaking the Hibaki. So the Hibaki is this piece right here, and you're basically pushing it out with your thumb, okay? So it's almost like you're cocking a gun. So the sword is flat and parallel, and my knee is over my big toe. My right hand is not down below, but it's on my hip. This is called Iai Gosh. This is Chuyo, neutral position. Very good. So sandwich hand, let's just go through Kamae first. I'm gonna calm someone. And I'll back up a little bit so you can see me a little better. And maybe I'll go this side. Ready? Seiga no Kamae. Geira no Kamae. Jusuri no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Shora no Kamae. Tumble no Kamae. Maki Tumble no Kamae. Tumble no Kamae. Wakigame no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. In no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Yo no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Anji no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Ochiburi. Noto. Very good. So I'm going to call on someone, see how you do. I'll give you some comments. All right, Robert, you ready?
The lighting is not that great.
Okay, don't worry. I can see you.
Okay.
Seiga no Kamae.
Yeah. All right. Push.
Seiga no Kamae. Keira no Kamae. Jusuri no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Chaura no Kamae. Thank you. Tombo no Kamae. Good. Maki Tombo no Kamae. Tombo no Kamae. Wakigame no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. In no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Ryo no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Manji no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Ochiburi. Noto. Good, Robert.
Right down.
Okay, Robert. So this is for you. So overall, very good. These are the things I want you to work on. So I'm happy you're pushing and you're not grabbing anymore.
Yes.
I see what you're doing.
Right.
On Facebook. So
Great. Great.
So Seigan looks good. Just make sure that when you're in Seigan, okay, your Seigan seems a little high. Right?
Okay.
But if you're in Seigan, you want to allow the inside of your arms to rest on the torso of your chest, of your body. So you can push your arms out and then just allow your arms to just rest on your torso. This should be comfortable. It's about 1.5 fists away from your center, okay? And you want to make sure you preserve proper tenuche. Jodan no Kamae, your Jodan seems very high.
Okay.
See where it is on my head right now?
Yes.
So you want to make sure, and your arms are very open. So when I open my arms too much, what happens to my grip, my tenuche is, you see this gap here?
Yes.
This is no good, right? See this? This is no good. I want to keep this grip. I want to keep this grip. So try this. Try just going into Jodan with one hand on your right hand, and you'll feel you won't be able to you won't be able to support the sword to open your hand up. So just by opening your arm up like this, you'll be able to keep that tenuche, that grip, which is very important. Okay, so always try to maintain your grip. If I had hair, which I don't, my thumb would be almost resting on the top of my hairline or on my forehead. Okay,
Yes.
so that's a good indication of where your hand should be. It shouldn't be over your eye. It shouldn't be too wide where you're messing up your grip either. Okay, Tumble look good, right? Maki Tumble look good. Wakigame, you don't have to go all the way behind yourself like this.
Okay.
So Yahage Sensei likes us having it really at our right hip. The angle of the sword is slightly down, but he wants it to be, it's okay if you could see a little bit of the sword. Okay. You still want to keep your hips forward. You don't want to turn your hips to the side. You want to keep your hips forward. Okay. In no Kamae, look good. Yo no Kamae, also very high. So
Okay.
Yo no Kamae, think about this just being right in front of your forehead. And you want to really open up your chest. This is yo position. Really open your chest up, right? Seigan, Manji, you don't want to keep your hands. See how far my hand is out here, my left hand? You want to keep your hands in. So I call this the chicken, right? Everyone can do the chicken wing, right? So I always do this. Yo, pushing into in. See,
Yeah.
there's no gaps in between my arms,
Yes.
okay? And my hands are here. I don't need my hand to be near the kasaki, right? Even when I'm doing techniques, right? I'm still always here, right? I'm never down here. This is no good. This is like if I slip, I'm going to cut my hand, right? And we don't want that. So
Yes.
keep your elbows in, right? And then Ochiburi Noto, your sageo, don't leave your sageo dangling like that. Even if you're not wearing full hakama and you're just doing it, either drape it around the back and tie it up or tuck it into your belt or something. It's just not good to have sageo flying around.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing noto, and this is also for beginners, there is a little piece on your saya, even on the plastic saya, called the kuragata. This little piece here where the sageo, the cord goes in. And if our sayas, the sheath is always curved up. If you have one of those little bumps in your saya, you'll take your palm and you can feel that bump on the saya, right? And you can, I don't even have to look at my sheath to know if it's in the proper position. If I don't feel that bump, right? Now my saya is upside down. I know I have to turn it over, okay? But it's a good kind of way to, it's a way you should get used to, just getting used to that touch, right? So otherwise, fantastic. Let's all do Kamae one more time all together. And then we're gonna go on to fantastic. And I'm gonna put you back on mute. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So all together, we're gonna do Kamae again. You guys ready? And I'll do it facing forward this time. So Iaigosh. And try to relax yourself in Iaigosh. Seiga no Kamae. Geira no Kamae. Just lower your arms. Don't bend your wrists. Bend your knee down. Jusuri no Kamae. Very good. Seiga no Kamae. Push the tip forward and up. Choda no Kamae. And make sure you keep that proper grip. Good. Up on your toes. Push up. Over to the right. Tombo no Kamae. Very good. Maki tombo no Kamae. Good. Tombo no Kamae. Wakigame no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. In no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. First grip. Yo no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Anji no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Push your thumb on the tsuba. Ochiburi. Noto. Very good. So that's Kamae. So we can go over, I can go over details with other people, but we're not going to rush too much. We're going to get to some kata today. I made David a promise that I'm going to try to move a little faster with my warm-ups so I don't spend too much time doing it. We have more kata. So let's do Suburi. Suburi is really important. This is also an in and yo exercise, and it teaches us to cut. So with Rushin, we're cutting with our bodies. We're not throwing the tip out like in other systems. We're using our chest and our back muscles to push the cut forward. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to warm up. These are all warm-ups, but this is much more of a warm-up. You're supposed to relax, and this is supposed to be soft. So I'm going to show the feet first. So your right foot is slightly in front of your left foot. You're going to slide your right foot forward, and then you're going to slide your back foot up. Then you're going to slide your back foot back and slide your front foot back. So you always want to maintain this position if you can. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is yo to in. So remember how we did in and yo? Now we're going to go, as you slide up, you're going to slide up into yo position, slide up, in position, slide back, yo position, slide in position, yo, in, yo, in. Very good. So this first one is supposed to be nice and relaxed. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is tenuch, proper grip. So proper grip is really important. You want to make sure that you have your gun hand, right? Everyone's using the gun hand. And you're going to take your palm, your tsuka handle, and you're going to put it right in the bottom of your palm here. And you're going to wrap your pinky right around the base of the tsuka, the handle. There's a little knot on these swords right here at the bottom. And you're going to wrap your pinky around the bottom of the knot, and your ring finger is going to go right above it. Okay, so this is the first grip. And you can see it's at a slight angle. It's not flat, right? My hand isn't this way, but it's this way, right? So on the next one, I'm going to roll my fingers here. You don't want to be this, and you don't want to be, choking it, right? This is proper grip, okay? So you want your hands to be on top of the weapon, right? This is an edge weapon. We want to make sure we're putting our energy on the manuch and the kisake here. So you want to be on top of it like a handrail. You don't want to be on the side of it. So this is no good. You want to be on top of it. So this is considered kamayate. Kirite. Kirite is pushing your thumbs forward. Kirite, and tomite is pushing your arms forward a little bit. Okay, so when we cut, we want to cut, when you cut, kirite, tomite. So the first one, you want to make sure you go all the way down to geidan, okay? And you want to make sure you're opening your chest and closing your chest. So when you bring the sword back, okay, lower the sword all the way down behind your head, all the way down, okay? All the way down, right? So this is all the way down, sliding forward, open your chest, slide up, close your chest, and cut all the way down. So you want to maintain that grip. Try not to bend the sword. This is no good, right? See my wrist? This is, we call this chicken necking. So this is no good. Make sure you keep that grip, okay? And try not to bounce. So when you cut, all the way down and control the sword. Remember, you control the sword. The sword is an extension of your body, not the other way around. So try not to bounce as we're doing these. Let's do 20 altogether. Nice and slow. Try to relax. Try to open your chest and close your chest. All right, here we go. And breathing out with the cut. So it's too many little details. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam, she, ho, rok, shich, hach, q, chu, each, ni, sam, she, ho, rok, shich, hach, q, chu. Fantastic. So nice and relaxed, nice and soft, allowing your body to open and close, right? So again, we're using our bodies to make that cut. The next one we're going to do is cutting. It's the exact same thing. The only difference is we're now creating energy and we're really pushing and we're cutting, and we're going to stop the cut chudan middle level. And you're going to give a nice big strong kiai. So if you're inside and you have neighbors or your wife or your significant other is home, or you have neighbors, you don't want to bother anybody, you do not have to make a big noise. Just breathe out with some force to make the cut, right? Inhale through your nose, out through your mouth. If you're inside, just say the letter A. So I'll do the first one just to show you. So you start in Seigan again. Inhale. Hey! 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 Stopping, chudan. So this is a nice strong cut. And this kind of cut is we push when the sword comes all the way back. I open, and as I open, I push my breath out, and I cut. Okay, let's do 30 all together, nice and strong, good ki. Here we go. You ready? H, hey, ni, hey, sam, hey, shi, hey, ro, hey, rok, hey, shich, hey, hach, hey, q, hey, chu, hey, ich, hey, ni, hey, sam, hey, shi, hey, ro, hey, rok, hey, shich, hey, hach, hey, q, hey, chu, hey, ich, hey, ni, hey, sam, hey, shi, hey, ro, hey, rok, hey, shich, hey, hach, hey, q, hey, chu, hey. Good. So that's the second one. Nice and strong, good strong ki, pushing that breath, stopping chudan. So when we stop the cut again, kitate, tomite, almost like a brake. Think of it like a brake. You're putting the brakes on with your hand to stop the cut. All right, let's do the next one. 50, and we're getting winded. 50, this one, we concentrate on breathing and tanden. So put your swords away for 2 seconds, and we're gonna do what we call tanden exercise. So tanden, or ha, is your lower abdomen breathing. We think of it like a ball or a balloon that's below our belly button. And as we breathe out, this ball of air is always there. We create the ball of air and then we let it expand and contract, but we're keeping that ball of air there, okay? So put your finger on your belly button, put your hand right on your lower abdomen. Relax your knees, inhale with your nose, and then as you exhale, ya, hey, pushing the breath down and out. So I have a terrible voice, so I apologize. So ya, a, pushing all that breath, pushing it down and out, expanding that tanden. You should feel your tanden expand this way as well as this way. So let's do 5 all together. Ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey. So you should feel that expansion. I think it was 5, not sure. Okay, so with this one, we're concentrating on breathing and expanding that tanden. We're going to do 50, and with this one, the second you inhale first, the second the tip moves, you begin to breathe out, and you breathe out the entire way until you finish the cut. So one of them begins, I'm in Seigan, inhale with your nose. The second the tip moves, ya, hey, inhale, ya, hey. We're gonna do 50, okay? So try to relax, concentrate on the breathing, try not to rush. So doing it this way, ya, hey, no good. Try to make sure that you inhale before you move the tip, and then when you start to exhale, the tip moves. Ya, hey, pushing that breath, pushing it from your tanden. This is a little more advanced, it's harder to do, but we do it as part of our warm-up. Let's do 50 all together. Here we go. And I apologize, I always mess up the count, so I'm gonna do my best not to. Ready? Each, ya, hey, ni, ya, hey, sam, ya, hey, shi, ya, hey, go, ya, hey, rok, Yai, Shich, Yai, Hach, Yai, Hip, Yai, Ich, Yai, Ni, Yai, Sam, Yai, Shi, Yai, Go, Yai, Rok, Yai, Shich, Yai, Hach, Yai, Hip, Yai, Chip, Yai, Ich, Yai, Ni, Yai, Sam, Yai, Shi, Yai, Go, Yai, Rok, Yai, Shich, Yai, Hach, Yai, Hip, Yai, Chip, Yai, Ich, Yai, Ni, Yai, Sam, Yai, Shi, Yai, Go, Yai, Rok, Yai, Shich, Yai, Hach, Yai, Hip, Yai, Chip, Yai, Ich, Yai, Ni, Yai, Sam, Yai, Shi, Yai, Go, Yai, Rok, Yai, Shich, Yai, Hach, Yai, Hip, Yai, Chip, Yai. Fantastic. So take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So this is a really good practice. It's 100 Suburi. Now we're going to do Tumble. And because we have a new person, we're going to go over how to cut Tumble. Tumble is cutting kesagi, cutting from shoulder to hip. This is part of the Kamai. It's also the signature cut of this system, Rushin. It is a cumulative cut. So it is not just me moving my arms and cutting. So what do I mean by this? So I'm going to cut, I'll cut 2 or 3 times, and then I'm going to break down what I'm doing. So what am I doing? I'm going from yo to in, and I'm dropping my center forward and down. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the feet. So shoulder width apart, step straight back like a railroad track, bend your left knee over your big toe. Your back foot can come off almost like you're about to go running. You don't want your heel off the ground too much, but almost like a leaf or a piece of paper could go under there. And I want you to lean your weight onto your left knee. So lean your weight on your left foot, lean. And then when you feel like you're giving a little bit of pressure, you're going to step up and open your foot, turn your foot out to the left. Let's do that 3 times. Just lean and step. Lean and step. Lean and step. Very good. So what this is doing is I'm getting my hip open, right? As I turn my foot out, my hip is now opening. So the next step is I'm going to immediately fall forward and down. So I'm going to step forward with my right foot. So I'm going to open my hip and I'm going to fall forward with my right foot, and I'm going to let my center drop, my tanden, my center dropping. My center is here. When I drop my center, right, I'm dropping my center a good foot, right? All of my body weight is dropping down, and it's dropping forward and down. So the key on this is when you step, you want to step in a straight line. So when I fall forward, I'm not falling too deep, I'm falling straight. I don't want to fall parallel, okay? Second thing is you don't have to step too deep. See how deep I am? And I'm overextending my back foot. So you don't have to step that deep. It's just a quick, almost like you caught yourself and you fell, right? The other thing is you don't have to step too wide. This is also no good. So think about railroad tracks, right? You're just going to step forward and down. So let's do 5 at the same time. You're going to lean, again, Iaigoshi, bend your knee, lean forward, and then you're going to lean forward and fall. Let's go. Ready? Each. Knee. Sam. Shi. Go. So that's the first part. You're dropping your center and you're falling down, right? That's all of your body weight coming behind a 2-foot razor blade. Next part is, you guessed it, yo to in. Tumble, this stance is a yo stance. So I want everyone to take their hand and put it right on the top of, right underneath their collarbone. And I want you to push your shoulder blades in and down and push your chest up. Right? Everyone just push your chest up. That's the yo position. It's a small yo, but it's a yo position. I'm opening my chest. Okay? So when I'm in tumble, even though it looks like I'm hunching, I'm really in a yo position. I'm open. So with this position, we're going to do that push-up. Remember this exercise? Instead of pushing in the middle, I want you to push here to the left. So when I cut kesagiri, which is horizontal, I'm cutting, this is the angle I'm cutting. So I just want to push right to where I'm cutting, pushing right to the left. And when you push, extend both arms, extend them all the way out. Okay, let's do this 5 times, breathing. So hands all the way up to your chest here, almost like a push-up. And you're going to breathe out and push to the left. Good. Knee. Sam. Shi. Go. Very good. So now we're going to combine falling forward and down and pushing from yo to in at the same time. It's important this happens simultaneously at the same time because you're building it. Like all of that momentum is happening all at the same time. Okay, here we go. Ready? So, Iaigoshi, hands up. Ready? Falling forward and down and pushing at the same time. Each. Knee. Sam. Shi. Go. Very good. Now comes the last little detail, tenuchi, grip. So tenuchi is really important. It's almost how you begin the cut, you activate it with your hands, and you stop it also with your hands. So after the cut is done, pushing, cutting, this is kitete, tomite, right? And then when you're finally cut, you have to relax your body back into chuyo, relax, and then go back again. So let's cut tumble 10 times all together, and then I'm going to call on someone and give some comments. Okay? So tumble, make sure that your kamae is correct. The back of your left hand is at your cheek, okay? And everything is relaxed. Relax your shoulder down, relax, see my elbow here? Relax your elbow all the way down, okay? Tumble is dragonfly. So the wing is the elbow here, and the tail of the dragonfly is the sword. So this is tumble no kamae. Everything should be relaxed. So when you're in this position and your belly button is facing forward, make sure your hips are forward, you're ready to go. And you're just going to push forward, same thing we just did. You're going to push forward and open your hip and cut. Cutting kesagi. Okay, let's do 10. Here we go. Nice and slow. Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Shich. Hach. Q. Chew. Very good. So I'm going to call on someone and see how you do. Let's see how you do. All right, Jeff. You ready? So Jeff, this is your first class, correct? So if you want to do it with me, or do you want to try it by yourself? You got to turn your mic on. You're muted, I think. Nope, don't hear you still.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. Do you want to do it with me, or do you want to do it by yourself?
With you would probably be good.
Okay, no worries. So I'll add myself as a spotlight. Okay, fantastic. So welcome again. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into proper tumble, right? So tumble, I don't know if you've ever done any other system, there's haso no kamai, which is the sword is very vertical, and the tsuba, the guard, is parallel almost to your jawline, right? And if you just push this back, right, tumble, right? So you can see that the back of my sword is straight. You don't want to keep the sword twisted yet. So try to keep the sword, if you're keeping the sword, keep it right behind you, almost as a straight line, right? So a straight line, okay? Good. So bend your knee over your big toe, and we're going to cut Pesagiri. We'll do it 5 times. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Falling forward. And cut it. Good. Knee. Arm. Oh. Good. So Corey, be mindful that when you cut, you push the sword all the way out.
Mhm.
Don't keep your elbow here bent. See, right? Sorry, I'll roll my sleeve up so you can see my elbow a little bit better. So if you keep your elbow bent here, right, you're shortening the cut. So you want to extend the arm out. Okay? Pushing. So think about A, B. Your homework tonight or until the next class is just to do this. Put your hand here, A, and push B. A, B. A, B. That's really what it is. So if you haven't done any other sword system, it's actually a little easier because other systems teach it, you throw the tip out. What we're doing is we're very direct. We're just pushing to that point, right?
Right.
Very quickly. Fantastic. Yeah, really good.
Thank you, Sensei.
Okay, so the next one we're going to do is Tenku no Tachi, Gyo, Shin, and So. This is Nuki-uchi. These are difficult. So Jeff, I know this is your first class. I know you did a little bit with David. Our no-to is very fast and it's very aggressive. So the first one we're going to do, I want you guys to work on very, very simple. Let's go over just first how to hold the saya. So the sword goes, we draw flat and the sword returns flat. When we grab the saya, okay, I'm going to use the index finger and my thumb, and I'm going to put it right around the koyoguchi, which is the opening here, okay? and I wrap my finger right around the edge. So there is no space, okay? You can see no space right there. Then I'm going to take my index finger and my thumb, and I'm going to pinch. This you don't change. This is no good. So when you bring the sword back and you're pinching, no good. If you do that, my personal advice is get some blue painter's tape and tape your hand up. And that way you get used to just not reaching or pinching. So what this is doing is you're making this index finger is you're making a little bit of a shelf for the sword to come back to and rest on. Okay. So when the sword comes back, instead of putting the sword here, Muso Shinden style or other systems, they do here. And again, they have Sayabiki, right? So Sayabiki is pulling the saya all the way back as you do this, and it's a big violin motion, right? With our system, we're pulling our hips back, just like in that exercise that we did earlier. So the sword is always flat, and you're making sure that your grip is here. Once the sword comes back, you're touching the sword as close to the kasaki as possible. I like going here personally. This feels more comfortable to me. And I bring the sword back flat. So notice that the sword is not an angle or a weird angle. So when I bring the sword back, it's flat, okay? So that's the first thing I want you guys to do. Jeff, that's the only thing I want you to do today is when you bring the sword back, flat, okay? Make sure it's flat. Okay, for everybody else, this is what I want you to work on. As you're cutting, let the sword come all the way behind you and let the arm come forward, keeping proper tenuge, keeping proper grip. What do I mean by that? Is instead of letting the sword cut, and you can see my wrist here, right? This is no good. So I want to make sure I'm keeping this grip. Even if I go back and I'm opening my hand, my chest back, my arm comes forward, I touch, and I push, and I step straight back. Okay, so this is drawing, cutting, and then putting the sword back away. So this one is called gyo. For this one, for beginners, we're in Iwakazushi, and you're going to step straight back like a railroad track. Okay, so try not to step behind you. Right, Alex? Straight back. Okay, here we go. This one, I'll demonstrate a couple of times just to show you. So we push the sword out, we cut, pushing the hips forward, arm comes forward, I touch, and then I step straight back. So Jeff, I know you did a class with David. With this, as we push our hips back. Our hips are back. As we push our hips forward, we roll our fingers forward, cutting forward. Letting our chest open, letting our chest close, touching, and stepping straight back. And stepping forward again. Okay, you don't have to bring the sword, change the sword position. This is just a warm-up exercise. Let's do 10 all together. This is gyo. Okay, nice and slow. I'm going to go slow, so go my speed if you want. Okay, here we go. Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Rock. Sheesh. Hutch. Q. Shoot. Fantastic. So with this exercise, the key is just to allow your body to open and close, right? Letting your chest bring that arm forward. Don't try to put the sword away until you bring that arm forward, okay? Once the hand is forward, you cut, I'm in proper grip, then once I bring the arm forward, then I'm pushing to the left side, which is where the saya is. Okay, the idea is that this should be one motion, not two. But for very, very beginners, the only thing I want you to work on right now is just, the only thing this week, Jeff, is just bringing the sword here. Just touching, okay? Get used to making that touching and flat, okay? Fantastic. I'm gonna call on someone and let's see how you do. All right, Corey, you ready? I think you're frozen, dude. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Can you see me moving?
I can see you. You're still very frozen, but okay. Ready? Let's do 5 all together. Okay. But I'm watching Corey. Ready? Each. Knee. Sam. He. Go. Good, Corey. Okay, really good. So you're really breaking up, but I was like seeing like you were stop motion. So I can kind of see where you were having a little bit of issue here and there. So the thing that you're doing is my problem as well, which is chasing. So what do I mean by chasing? Is that I mean the second I cut, I'm stepping back before I touch. Right?
Okay, I've been trying to work on that and wait until, so I know that once I'm here to touch, then I step back.
Right. So a way to kind of, I always help, and it's something that just takes time to get used to, but I always help by breathing. So once I touch,
Breathe in.
So otherwise, really good. The other thing I want you to work on is letting your fingers roll and expanding your body into yo. Okay. So
We'll do some.
and this is for everybody. As you push, you're pushing your hips. As you push the sword forward, you're pushing your hips back. Once your hips are back and you are in position, you're going to roll your fingers forward as you push your hips forward. So I want you to sync that motion. And it should feel like you should be able to get a good hasuji or a big noise with that. Okay?
Yes, Sensei.
So work on that rolling and pushing at the hips at the same time. It also will pay off with kata as well, because we're going to do mai today, and I'm going to show you how to really make sure you get it it's like a big explosion when you make that cut. All right.
Okay, Sensei.
Let's do Shin. Shin is a little faster. It's the second part of that wall hip exercise. So instead of stepping back with your left foot, and I'm pulling my hip back. So on the first one, and I step back. By stepping back, I'm pulling my hip back, right? The second one, I'm pushing my hip back again, just like that wall hip exercise we did earlier, okay? So the difference on this one is we're stopping the cut here. For beginners, stop the cut here. And how do we stop the cut? Tenuch. So everyone can snap So tenuch is that snapping, pushing your thumb forward. That's tenuch. So that's how we're going to stop this cut. Right? The key is, and this is what makes it hard, is that once you cut, you're letting your chest close and bring that momentum back. Right? So for advanced students, you can then go and you can control where you want the cut to stop, right? So I've been working on trying to get my cut to stop here, and it's not easy because even at that point, I still have to use my chest to bring the momentum back. But for everybody else, just go to this point here, squeezing. Okay, let's do 10 all together. This is shin. Here we go. Ready? Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rock. Sheech. Hutch. Q. Chu. Fantastic. Really good, guys. So again, pushing your hip back, yo, in, right? So you're starting to see that we're making these transitions between these in motion and yo motion to generate power, okay? So let's try 5 more, okay, all together, but I'm gonna call on Alex. All right, Alex, you ready?
Hi, Sensei.
So everyone please do with Alex, but I'm watching Alex. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Fantastic, Alex. Really good. So Alex, the only thing I want you to work on now is going into a full in motion on both sides. So what do I mean by that? So you got the push down. Everything is looking pretty good, right? You are collapsing this shoulder. So you're only going in on one side as opposed to in on both sides. So Alex, try just doing this. No sword, just for a second. Both sides in, both sides yo, both sides in. Allowing your back to be even on both sides. So when you do this on the draw, instead of collapsing this one chest, both sides. Okay? That's the only comment I have. It did great. Okay?
Thank you, Sensei.
All right, guys. So now the next one we're going to do is called So. So is the closest thing that we have to Zen meditation. The idea is that you're doing it very, very slow. One note. So think about one note being played. Everything is slow, okay? And at the same speed. So with this one, it's exactly the same thing. I want you to think about all the details that we're going over. And today I want you to think about in and yo and those transitions, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate the first one, okay? The first thing we're doing is we're cutting Ichimonji, right? So same thing. When we do this, I'm in Iai Gosh. I'm pushing out. I'm pushing forward and I'm grabbing tenuch, right? Proper grip. Cutting Ichimonji all the way across. So I'm cutting the neck or the eyes of my opponent. The sword comes all the way out flat. It turns upside down. And then I open my hand and let the sword drop. I'm just using my two fingers, my thumb and my index finger, to let the sword hang. I bring the sword all the way behind my back, all the way down, open my chest, cutting Kiryosh all the way down. Inhale. This is Ochiburi, so I'm bringing this parallel to my nose. And I'm also using, again, just the index finger and the thumb, and I'm letting the sword hang upside down. So the cutting edge is facing out, okay? From this position, I inhale and I go into in position as I come up. In, I bring it over my head, and I step back with my right foot away from the cut. And then everything else is exactly the same as we just did on the first one, stepping back. Okay, let's do this 3 times, nice and slow. This is so. Ready? Each. Knee. San. Good. So these are used to meditate. It's also a way to kind of refine all of your techniques because you're not rushing. So it's a good opportunity to think about where in and yo happen, where you're doing proper grip, are you opening your chest, all those little things that you can refine and you're going nice and slow. So I'll do it once just to explain the in and yo, just so you guys know. So I'm in Iwakazushi, this is Chuyo, right? In position, yo position, yo position, yo, in, Chuyo. In position, yo position, in position, and Chuyo. So you're seeing it's a lot of flexing, right? It's not that difficult. That's part of it's the whole part of the system. So learning how to let your body relax and not being tense and tight will help you make more powerful cuts, and the techniques will come a lot easier. So that's the warm-up exercise. I think we did pretty well on time. I'm not too sure. I know the clocks went back, and I'm not sure if they set that one. So I'm gonna look at my phone on my laptop. So we're doing pretty good. So now we're gonna do some kata. So being that we have a lot of beginners here today, I want to make sure that we go over basic kata. We are doing testing in April online for people who have been training with us for about 5 to 6 months. We'll tell you when you're ready. We don't force anybody to test. If you guys don't want to test, it's completely up to you. If you do, obviously you have to join the Wushin organization, and we can help you do that. So for everybody watching online, again, if you want to train with us, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/NYBA, and give us a subscribe. So we enjoy doing this. So let's do the first kata. This one is called Tenchi no Tachi Mai. This is the first kata, and it's on every single test. Doesn't matter what level you are, if you're testing for Rokudan or whatever, it does not matter. This kata is on the test. So all of these katas can be done either sitting or standing. I'm going to be doing them sitting, but I'll show you how to do them also standing if your knees are bothering. So I'll demonstrate the kata first, and then I'm going to explain, okay? So what am I doing? The opponent is in front of me. So it's kind of similar to Shohato, which is in Muso Shinden, but there's a lot of differences and a lot of unique things specifically to Rushin. So I'm in Seiza. I'm sitting on my knees. I'm sitting on the tops of my feet. My right toe is over my left toe. Okay, or my left toe, yeah, my left toe is over my right toe. And my knees are about 1.5 fists, 2 fists apart. My hands are at my hips, okay? Not at on my knees, but I'm bringing my hands closer to my hips. And I don't want any spaces, no big openings in my arms. So not sitting like this, but relaxing, tucking your chin in and keeping your back straight, okay? So this is Seiza, okay? And everyone sits in Seiza, doesn't matter what discipline you do in Japanese systems. This is a traditional way they sit. So the first thing I do is I'm breathing. So I inhale with my nose and I exhale with my mouth. Inhale, exhale, inhale. And then on the third breath, I inhale and I swallow and I bring that breath and create tanden, that ball of air. Once I swallow, I'm going to heading up, and I'm going to push the saya out and flat. So I'm turning the sword out and the sword draws flat. Once I touch the sword, everything happens at the same time, and it's all moving forward and out. So once I touch the sword, my knees squeeze together, right? As I touch, my knees are squeezing. I activate my feet, so I come up on my feet. This is a big detail. I don't want my feet to be flat. I want to activate my feet, okay? I'm pushing, and as I push, I'm pushing into in position. So I'm pushing both sides, and I'm leaning forward all the way in. And the handle is going right towards the face of my opponent, who's sitting right across from me, okay? And I want to push as far as I can and lean as far as I can, creating big in position, right? If I lean any further, I fall forward. So once I feel that tension of me leaning, I'm going to step forward, pushing my hips forward, stepping forward and cutting Ichimonji, cutting straight. The sword turns over just like in so, all the way down, open your chest, closing your chest, and cutting all the way down here. The person is cut on the floor. So the stomp is stopping that forward momentum. Again, I'm here and open my chest, closing my chest, and stopping the cut here, right? From here, I'm going to push the tip forward, okay? So pushing the tip forward and up, and I'm going to step up behind the tip into Jodan no Kamae. This is Zashin at this point, so I've killed the person, and now I'm in Zashin. So I'm softening my gaze, making sure there are no other threats. I step back very slowly into Seiga no Kamae. There are no more threats. Good. Ochiburi, which is shaking the blood off. Step back Once I touch and I step back, the sword is flat. Now I'm going to turn the sword up, and when I do, my knee is going to drop. The sword stays out. My other right knee comes back, and I slowly, as slow as I can, bring everything together. I wipe the ska once and twice, and then go back to Seiza, and that's the kata. So your gaze, metsuge, which is your gaze, is about 8 paces in front of you. So for me, I'm looking where my little past where the camera is, my laptop is, and I'm looking down towards the floor there. So it's basically 8 paces in front of you, and that gaze doesn't stop. Okay, let's try this all together, nice and slow. And for those who want to do it standing, if you need me to show you standing, I can show you standing, no problem. I'll do that next. Let's try all together sitting first, okay? Here we go. Are you ready? Ajna. So please do it my speed. Ready? Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, swallow, push the ska, the sword flat, squeeze your knees together, pushing, activate your feet, pushing, pushing, pushing all the way out, cutting, Ichimonji. Turn the sword over, all the way behind you. Open your chest, close your chest, cutting in front, stomp. Good. Push the tip up and step forward and up into Joda no Kamae. Good. Step back very slowly, Seiga no Kamae. Very good. Ochiburi. Step back, turn the sword up, and bring your knee down. Keep the sword out, bring your other foot back, and then all the way back to Seiza. 1 and 2. Good, fantastic. So with this one, when we do the standing, it's the exact same thing. All of these kata, I would say 95% of our kata can all be done standing. So if you have problems with your knees, or you're in a space like you're in your kitchen, or you're somewhere like your living room, and you don't have that space, you can do these standing. If you're in a tight space, my suggestion is to get a wakizashi, which is a shorter sword. Alex, you have one. It's making a big difference. Now you're not whacking your furniture or hurting your cat. So you can pick them up at Tozando or Ibogu. They sell them. They're just as good. It's just the idea of holding something, that way you're not hitting anything. Okay. So
Sensei, may I interrupt real quick?
of course.
I think, I'm not sure if it's still going on, Ibogu was just having a sale on Boken because they opened up a new store, and I think they sell wakizashi. So
That's fantastic. Yeah. So definitely check. I know during the holidays, like if you're buying a hakama and everything, going to Tozando and Ibogu during Christmas, they usually have a deal, full set that you can get for like, $60 or something. So it's, hold off until you're ready to spend the money, and then we can show you where to go. Okay. So with the standing kata, same thing, but I want you to pretend that you're sitting in Seiza, but you're standing. So your knees, your feet are parallel to the floor. Your knees are slightly bent. Okay. And it's exactly the same thing. So 3 breaths, but instead of putting your hands, down and just letting your hands hang, keep them at your hips, almost like as if you were sitting in Seiza. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, swallow, push the sword flat and break the Hibaki. Pushing out, 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 cutting Ichimonji. All the way down, open, cutting. Joda no Kamae. Seiga no Kamae. Ochiburi. And then from here with standing, when you step back, turn it up, and then you can just slide forward. And then back to EI Bush. Fantastic. Let's do it one more time all together, okay? Here we go. And I'll do it this way so you can see just a different angle. Ready? Aj. Fantastic. So now I'm going to call on a couple people, see how you do, and we're going to go from there. Is that Daniel in Temple of Shaolin, Mexico with his headset? All right, Daniel, you ready? Oh my God, we have like 4 views of Daniel. This is great.
There you go.
Love it, love it. So Daniel, take 2 steps back a little bit. So I'm really concentrating on the one that you're forward facing.
All right, all right. I'll take the other ones down. I was just bragging about them.
Now you're just showing off, right?
I was just
I
showing
know
off, yes.
it's no private jet, but it's pretty good.
Exactly.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
So everyone can do my with Daniel, but I'm watching Daniel. Ready? Hajime. Good, Daniel. Really good. Okay, Daniel, these comments are for you. So a couple, I know it's the angle, but there's a couple things that I want you to work on. Okay. So the first thing is the draw, and the draw is really important on this, everybody. So it has to be, everything has to be happening at the same time. Think of it like a wave. The wave is building and then it crashes down. So as you're doing this, think of your body as that wave, right? You're building that momentum. So once you touch the sword, okay, and the way we grab the sword is sitting here. I pull my hand almost like I'm petting a cat, right? I'm petting up and then I push down and out. Okay. Pushing all at the same time. Once I start to push, both sides in. So try not to squeeze your knees, turn, and then push. Try to do it all at the same time. Try to make it one continuous motion. So you're squeezing all in, both sides, right? In, and when you can't go anymore, pushing, right? And this is where the nuki-uchi that we were practicing, rolling your fingers as you cut, right? Right? From here, good. All the way down, open, cutting. And make sure when you cut, Daniel, that you're cutting all the way down here.
Okay.
Not here, right? Because a person, it's helpful. I don't have someone here physically, but when you cut the person here, they fall down, right? So now their body is down here in front of me. So if I cut here, I'm not hitting them, right? They're on the floor. So I'm basically cutting them, deep in their torso, right? From here, from this moment, once the cuts are done, everything else is Zazen. Zazen is like awareness, right? So you're pushing your tip forward and you're stepping up. So awareness it's almost like peripheral vision, right? So once I've killed this person, I'm assessing, are there any more threats? So I'm softening my gaze. So if I look at the camera, right, and I soften my gaze, I can see the door, I can see the heavy bag here, I can see there's a mirror here, I can see a little bit of my reflection, right? And my gaze opens up and I soften my gaze, assessing, are there any other threats? So this is almost like, are there any more threats? There are no more threats. I step back very slowly. Are there any more threats? There's no more threats. Then I clean my sword. When you do Ochiburi, make sure you bring the sword, go into in position. Inhale, in position, right? Bring it all the way up, bring it over your head. So you don't want to be high over your head, right? You want it just to bring it over your head. And then step back with the cut. Fantastic, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you.
No palm trees today, but I'll take
No
it.
sponsorship.
All right, let's call on somebody else. Mario, you want to give it a shot?
Yes, Sensei.
Hi. So Mario, you have hard floors. You have knee pads?
No, but
Your knee, are you okay to sit, are you okay to sit in Seiza like that?
okay, don't worry about it.
So for young guys like Mario, no problem. Good strong knees. For old guys, make sure I would suggest a pair of volleyball knee pads also helps a lot with your knees if you're sitting on hurt surfaces. It's better. It's like think marathon, right? So you don't want to hurt yourself when you're younger. So by the time you get older, you can't do this anymore. So protect your knees. All right, ready? Seiza. So I'm watching Mario. Everyone else, please do this. All right, ready? Hajime. Good. Oh, be careful your ceiling. Good, Mario. Fantastic. Really, really good. All right, Mario, these comments are for you.
Thank you.
So when you're cutting, Mario, this is a cut, right? This first cut is Ichimonji. So when we're cutting, we don't want the cut just to kind of put the sword here on the side. This is no good, I didn't cut. So I want to cut. So to cut, you really have to collapse your chest. This is a one-handed cut, right? So when you push, both sides are collapsing in, right? So as I'm pushing, I'm letting both sides of my body collapse in, and I'm pushing this forward, forward, forward. Once the sword is almost out, it's not even all the way out, it's almost out, my fingers are flat, right? See my fingers? Right? I'm pushing, right? And then once the sword is out and I'm collapsed, then I'm going to roll my fingers and I'm going to open my chest, pushing my hips forward. You should be able to get a good, strong cut. The goal is to push and squeeze here, right in front of you, here. Then when you finish the cut doesn't stop, but Phil Sensei has a really good analogy. It's almost like you hit a wall of Jell-O, right? Everyone knows what Jell-O is, right? So you hit that wall, you cut, and then it's almost like you hit that wall of Jell-O and you slow down. It doesn't stop. it turns over and everything comes together. Okay? So allow your body to collapse a little more on that draw. For you, what I want you to practice is pushing and rolling your fingers and opening your chest. Everyone can do this as well. Pushing and pushing not only both sides of your chest as you push forward, but pushing forward with your tanden, with your center. See my center? So that is what's making the cut. If you go onto our Instagram channel, I think our Instagram page, there's a really good photograph of, I think if you go back in 2018, 2019 or something, there's a photograph of Yahage sensei cutting Ichimonji with this kata. And when you see this photograph, you realize he's really pushing with his hips to generate that power from the center. Okay? The other thing is when you come here, see where my sword is? Bring it all the way down, all the way down. Open your chest, close your chest, and cut. So this should be a big, powerful cut. Okay? Think of it like Suburi. Okay?
Hi.
Fantastic. Really good, Mario.
Thank you.
So that's one kata that we did today. We're going to move on to a second kata. It is 5:10. Next kata we're going to do is Iwakazushi Ippome and Nihome. These are really important kata as well because they are transition katas from yo to in to yo. So I'll demonstrate the first one and then I'm going to break it down for you guys. Okay, this is one opponent sitting in front of me. So what am I doing? I'm sitting in Seiza. First thing I do is instead of taking 3 breaths, the only kata that has 3 breaths is the first kata, which is mine. Every other kata has 1 and basically a half breath, right? So I take 1 breath, I swallow, and then once I touch the sword, instead of pushing out, the person is sitting very close to me. So I have to draw up. So when I squeeze my knees together, I'm drawing up. I activate my feet and I'm drawing up. Okay? Up, yo, sword transitions in front of me. And I cut kesagiri, bring it to my shoulder, stepping out with my left foot, Ichimonji. Okay? From here, I touch. I pull my hip back and the tip drops right in. When I turn the sword up like a switch, my right knee, my back knee opens up. I'm going to lean my weight on my back foot. And as I slide my front foot back, everything comes together. Back to Iwakazushi. So this one, I'm drawing into yo. The sword transitions forward in position, yo position. So let's try this just with no sword, just with your body for 2 seconds, okay? So ready? Yo, open your chest, turn the sword out in front of you, right? Proper grip. Closing your chest, both sides, keeping your face forward, don't turn your body. In, collapsing, bring it to your shoulder, turn the sword over and step out, Ichimonji. So this is considered to be one cut. Even though it's two cuts, it's considered one cut. It's one continuous cut. So the transitions are with your hand. So the first transition is when I push forward and I turn my hand over into proper tenuge. So the key is I push up and I turn out. So now my sword is in front of me, right? And the grip is proper. So I know the cutting edge is preserved. When I cut, both sides collapsing in position, bring it to my shoulder, yo position. Okay? Let's try this a couple of times. Just the cut, the draw and the cut standing. You don't have to do it sitting. Okay? So you can soften your knees. Ready? Push out, up, draw up. Sword in front of you. Cutting kesagiri. In position. Yo position. Step forward when you cut. Step with the cut with your left foot. Good. Try again. Ready? Turn the sword over flat. Draw up. Yo. In. Yo. Good. Try again. Ready? Turn the sword flat. Draw up. Yo position. Bring the sword in front of you. Cutting kesagiri. Ichimonji. Now I want you to try this a couple of times on your own. Let's try it a little faster now. So think of it as cursive writing, right? The sword doesn't stop. Okay, so try it a couple of times. If you're inside and you have furniture and stuff, do it with your hands. Don't do it with the sword because you're going to whack into things, right? So your hands are perfectly fine. So if you're doing it with just your hands, yo, in, yo. It is almost like the RuPaul, right? That's the snap, right? Cutting, cutting. That's where the grip stops. You're stopping the cut. Stopping the cut, stopping the cut. All right, let's try it 5 times on our own. I'm going to do it with you. Ready? So by learning how to let your body expand and contract and expand, you can generate a lot of power with one hand. Let's try the kata all together. Let's do it 3 times, okay? If you want to do this one standing, also just as good. Standing is exactly the same thing. The only difference is that you start standing. I'm going to do it sitting, so we'll do it 3 times all together, okay? For beginners, I'm going to go nice and slow so you can do it by speed. Ready? Haj. Very good. Again. Haj. right, one more, and I'm gonna call on somebody. Fantastic. All right. Let's call on someone and see how you do. All right, Robert, you ready?
Here we go.
Are you gonna do it standing or sitting?
Standing.
Okay, so standing, make sure if you're standing, make sure your feet are parallel. Think about yourself being almost like a standing version of Seiza, right? So your feet are like slightly, not together, but they're slightly apart, right? Shoulder width, right? So that your knees are relaxed, right? Ready? Ajahn. One more time, Robert. One more time.
Yes.
Good, Robert. Okay, Robert, so this is for you, okay? I'm gonna demonstrate, I'll demonstrate standing because you're doing standing, okay? So first is, there's only 1.5 breaths, so you don't have to take 3 breaths. So it's, once you take that 1 breath, everything is out, right? So from here, turn the sword over. Once you begin to touch, everything goes in. So don't cheat the body. You're using a lot of your arms to move. You have strong arms, so you're using your arms, right? I want you to use your body more. So what do I mean by that? So allow yourself to push open your chest, to your chest, both sides. Bring it to your shoulder. Bring it to your shoulder here, because when you're cutting, your angle of cutting is either this or this. So you want to cut flat. And Phil Sensei has a really good trick, which is bring it to your shoulders, right to your elbow, right above your elbow here. Okay. So when you bring it to your elbow here, 1, it helps keep it Ichimonji straight. And number 2, it helps you get into in position. So cutting in position, right? On both my sides. And then when I step forward, yo position. Yo position. So everyone can practice, even if you want to practice just from this position, yo. And making sure you sync that step. Okay? So
Yes.
really good. Just make sure you don't use your arms, chest open. I would rather people go slow and smooth and rather than hard and fast. Okay, so nice and slow, yo, and then be mindful of where the kasaki is. So this is something that it's one of my pet peeves, and I pick on people for doing this, is when they bring the sword behind them. So this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right? So the danger is if I bring the sword behind me, if I miss and I'm using the blade, I will take my ear or the top of my.
Yes.
That is very, very dangerous, especially if you are using a live blade. Okay. So in preparation of using a live blade with Rushin, everything is always, try to think, is always forward and out. Okay. So when we do this cut, right? Right? You can see everything is forward, right? The sword does not go behind my head.
Yes.
Right? So be mindful of that, okay? It's part of doing, practicing this is that you have to make the sword is just an extension of your body, right? So there's a difference between going fast and throwing it around fast. Everyone can do that, but you have to maintain control. You control the weapon does not control you, and it is an extension of your body. So you have to make sure that your body is reaching forward. The person is in front of you, right? Always in front, always. Okay, so it's the big safety thing. So be very careful about bringing that sword behind you. Okay,
Yeah.
I know you practice the live blade sometimes, so be very, very careful. Okay, those kids,
Yes.
you don't want those kids visiting you in the hospital. Okay, all right, so let's call on somebody else. Really good, Robert. Let's see, Corey, you want to give it a shot?
I'll give it a shot, Sensei.
You want to do it standing or you want to do it sitting?
I'll do it sitting. I'm probably gonna have to roll through with my hands though, because even
Hands are
standing.
fine. You're in your kitchen, so hands are totally fine. Ready? Hajime. Good, Corey. One more time. Look, can you lower the camera a little bit? Sorry.
I didn't know if you wanted me to go through the whole thing or.
Yeah, I just want to really see the cut, but one more time. Ready? Hajime. Good, Corey. Don't hurt the washing machine. By the way, I'm very jealous you have a washing machine. I haven't had one in many years. This is the washing machine. Okay, so Corey, for you, this is what I want you to concentrate on is that first transition. So don't stop. The key is this should be one continuous motion.
Okay.
You're doing this, if you're doing it with just your hands. Think of it
Okay.
as, the best way to think of Rushin is like cursive writing or script, right? So print writing, it's A, B, start and stop, right? Script is A, B, C, D, everything is continuous, right? So Rushin is very close to script writing. So when you're doing this, up and forward, rolling your fingers to make the cut and cutting, okay? Letting your body collapse and open, okay? So you're a strong guy, you're a military guy, you already have that power to you. So I know it's hard, you have to relax. It's soft and soft and soft, okay? The only time you're trying to be really hard is at that cut where that snap is.
Right.
Stop it, right? Everything else is nice and soft, okay? So nice and smooth, nice and soft. Yo, and let the transition happen here in front of you, right? Don't go here. Don't go behind yourself, right?
Okay. Roger, Sensei.
Really good, Corey. Fantastic. All right, Boris, I see you in the corner there, hiding. Good seeing you, Boris.
Yes,
You want to try?
yes.
Just be careful of your plants.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You ready?
I'm okay.
Hajime. Good, Boris. One more time, please. Ready? Hajime. Good, Boris. Okay, Boris, this comment is for you.
Uh-huh.
So, Boris, you do what I used to do, which is you're sacrificing the first cut to make the second cut. So, what do I mean by that? So, when you're cutting, the key is to make both cuts count. So, when I make this first cut, you have to keep the integrity of this kesa cut. Cut this, cut. So don't cheat this to get to this, right? Don't cheat this cut to get to the
You
second.
mean I'm scooping?
You're scooping. So make sure you cut kesagiri, then Ichimonji. So make sure you cut, make sure you keep that cut. Okay,
Uh-huh.
got it?
Can I do it again?
Yeah, of course. You want to try it one more time?
Yeah.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Hajime. Better. Good. Good, Boris. So, Boris, other little thing is don't bring the sword behind your head.
I
Otherwise-
did?
Yeah, of course. I'm looking at you.
Wow.
So when you do it, just be mindful.
When did I do it?
You did it on this cut.
So I did bring it.
You're doing this.
Okay. Okay.
So when you
Uh-huh.
do transition here, roll your fingers out. So this is
Uh,
kind of a weird thing.
forward.
Here, look, my fingers are flat and I'm pushing out. I'm going to roll my fingers here.
Right. Forward. Like.
Here, forward.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right? Once it goes forward, now I'm in proper grip, right? Rolling your fingers automatically puts you into proper tenuch, proper grip.
Good,
And
good.
So
Ah.
it's a little detail. It's like one of those little things that, like, if you work on your grip, on always making sure you have this proper grip, you will always maintain that cutting edge, that cut.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Sensei. Yeah.
So we have time for one more person. Jeff is new. Jeff, do you want to try it? Do you want to do it with me? Or you want to try it by yourself? I can do it with you, no problem. Okay, so I'll pin myself as well. We'll go together. Okay? Okay, so do you want me to do it standing or sitting? Standing or sitting? Standing. Okay. So I'm going to move my camera back up again a little bit. Okay. So standing. Here we go. You ready, Jeff? I'll face forward. So from here, relax your knees, hands at your hips. Good. So inhale. Turn the sword flat. And bring the sword up. And then flat hand, you're going to push up and forward. Bring the sword out in front of you. And you want to make sure that cutting edge is preserved, right? So from here, collapsing kesagiri, both sides. So collapse both sides of your chest. In, bring it to your shoulder, and step out with your left foot. Good. Touch. Push your hip back. Turn the sword up. And then lean on your back foot. And then slide everything together. And then we wipe, in this system, we wipe the ska twice. So once twice, and then back to Iaigoshi. And turn the sword flat, right? So why do we want to ska twice? It's a paranoid thing. That's what I was told. So in other systems, they'll go like this, right? And the idea is that your hand is still on the weapon, right? Think of it like your hand is on the gun, right? I can do something. So if something happens, my hand is still on the weapon, I can still do something, right? So it gives me the opportunity. It's like a paranoid thing. That's what I was told. You know, you're being apprehensive about like not letting go of the weapon, right? So good, really good, Jeff, fantastic, right? So for you, I want you to practice open, yo, in, yo, yo, in, yo, and stepping out with that cut. Okay, so next week we'll do the number. We'll start with, and maybe on Wednesday I'll when I teach on Wednesday, I'm going to start with the second version of this, if we have time, which is called Iwakazushi Nihomein, and I'll demonstrate really quickly, and then we're going to ray out because it's 5:30 and I have to go home and make dinner. Also, it's my anniversary this weekend, 20 years. So hopefully my wife won't kill me if I'm a little late. So this is the second one called Iwakazushi Nihomein. And with this one, there's someone right in front of me here, and there's someone sitting right to the left of me. Okay. And I'm going to do it. I'll just demonstrate, and then we'll pick this up from this point on next Sunday. Okay. Aj. Oh, sloppy. Let me try it one more time. These foam mats are always wobbling a little bit. This is my balance. Okay, try it again. Oh. Always confusing right or left. Okay, that was terrible. I apologize. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna try to keep my thoughts about me. Okay, let's try it one more time. Hopefully I won't mess up. A little better. So with this one, I'm drawing across my body, skiing, pulling the sword out of the body, and then same thing, cutting. And instead of stepping with the left foot, I step with the right foot, Ichimonji. Then I'm coming forward instead of going back. So that's Iwakazushi Nihomein. So we'll pick that one up next time. Thank you guys for coming to a class of ours. We hope you enjoyed it. For people on YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you want to train with us, go to patreon.com. If you look on the top links, you can see all the links. We are having a fundraiser on April 10th for our students in Ukraine. Our heart breaks for them. So we're going to try to raise money to help the humanitarian crisis there. Let's ray out, and thank you guys again. Oh. Sorry, guys. I need quiet. Show me, right? Otani, right? Arigatou gozaimashita. Sensei ni, right? Tony. Right? Thank you, guys. It's fantastic seeing everybody. Please be safe.
Thank you, Sensei.
We always look forward.
Thank you, Sensei.
Sensei.
Big thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Sensei.
Great seeing you, Jeff. Thanks. Welcome to the crew. Jeff's in Texas, I think. So, Corey down in Kentucky. Boris, I think you're in Queens. We had Daniel and Mario in Mexico. So great seeing everybody. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, don't hesitate to ask or to email us. We'll, or chat with us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And keep training. So for when it's students like this where everyone's about to train, we're going to be testing. Like Robert, you're testing for Shodan, I believe. So Shodan is a difficult test. So we put you through the ringer. You have to do all the kata. So and we expect them to be a certain level. So we want to make sure that you are up to par. So you're doing great, man. Keep it up. Corey, I'm going to make sure that you're prepared. You're going to test for Sankyu, correct? And I think Alex, I'm not sure if Alex is here anymore. I think he took off. Alex, I think, is testing as well. So Daniel, if you want to test, we can test you as well online. You were supposed to test last time, but I think we need to test you for either NICU, okay? And get you up to speed because you're ready to go, okay? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Have a great weekend.
Thank you,
Be safe.
Sensei.
Sensei.
Thank you, guys.